Let me welcome everybody to the Wild Wild West. Sit yourself down, break open a nice cold sarsaparilla, because today we're painting up the 5 miniatures from the new California expansion of the Fallout Fantasy Flight Games tabletop game. Nailed it. And in case you haven't heard me say it 1,000 times, my name is Richard, the channel is not called New Vegas, and I am so glad that you could be here today. I cannot believe that it's been a year since we painted the Boston crew. Over a year, actually. It was like June, early June last year. That's insane. It actually feels like we painted them yesterday. Now, the bane of every miniature painter's existence is always painting the same miniatures, well, painting a second crew of miniatures in the same style as the first, because there's always a few things that are different. You know, there's always 1 or 2 things that don't work out, that are never quite the same. But today, we're gonna face that challenge head on. My mantra when going over that hurdle is always to just accept that the models will not look the same, and see it as an opportunity to take some fun artistic liberties. So that's exactly what we're gonna do. With that in mind, I'm going to use the I have a laser pointer. With that in mind, we're going to use the original paint list here, and we're going to swap out just a few colors to maybe make it feel a bit more desert, Mojave, wasteland, I don't know, but it's going to be just slightly different. Again, I want to plan for them looking slightly different to keep the process the same. Plus, I'm always looking for an excuse to break out my new favorite primer. Aubergine. I hope you guys enjoy the video, because I have to admit, this project turned out way better than I thought it would. I really do mean it when I say that it is the bane of every miniature painter's existence to have to paint the same models twice, but it's also really incredibly satisfying when it works out, and I'm happy to share it with you guys. And plus, these minis were just way too good and way too cool to sit in my pile of shame forever. So, without further ado, let's just go ahead and get them on the tabletop. Are you ready? I'm not, but here we go. However, it is a little too hot to keep the Pip-Boy on all video. Sorry, it's too hot. And last time, we went with original Sam... I forgot that I moved the trash can. Last time we went with original Sam Adams because we were painting the Boston/Washington, D.C. crew. This time we're going with just Sam Adams Summer Ale. I know it's nothing like super exciting, but I felt like, you know, staying with Sam Adams was good, but it's summery, something desert, who knows, but we'll just see if it's good. Oh yeah. Let's get started. Patrolling the Mojave almost makes you wish for a nuclear winter, but at least with this desert scheme, they'll look good walking the wastes. We primed their East Coast counterparts in Macragge Blue, so these minis are going to get primed in Aubergine. I wish I could have found a brighter purple primer in hindsight, but I was still very happy with the results. Next, we'll pick one color to be the main color of each model, and paint that heavily onto the flat sections where we want it to be the most intense. We'll pair that with a lighter overall dry brush, because we do want this color to still seep through very subtly. If you only have a few colors, or just don't want to work very hard, you could feel free to stop right here. Maybe add a black wash and have a very simple, but very good looking board game piece. Next, we'll pick from our color list and try to make each one present to some degree on the model. I started with bronze. Next up, London gray. In my own headcanon, this model is a young Easy Pete. We'll use black-red for his skin, as well as on the other models' jumpsuits. We'll use cork brown to continue our very dapper ghoul, as well as the ropes, straps, and some of the skin. And of course, it wouldn't be a new Memphis project without a very healthy dose of a Vallejo orange. I want to be sparing with whites, but this valve is something that I really want to stick out. And I think our ghoul would take pride in maintaining a crisp white shirt. And finally, let's grab flat yellow for a few more details. Now, onto my favorite part, the black wash. In the last video, this step was where everybody said, "Wow, there was a method to this madness." Let me know in the comments if you have the same reaction. It took a few hours, but they finished drying at night, so I jumped ahead and thought I would start the base texture. This will start with either 3 or 5 taps of Royal and Langnickel paint on the bases. Odd numbers look more natural, do not ask me why, some things just are. Then I'm going to dunk the base in coffee grounds, specifically a mix of coarse cold brew grounds and fine espresso grounds, baked in the oven until completely dry. I promised in the last video, over a year ago, that I would make a men's guide to coffee video, and I never did. Let me know in the comments if you guys actually do want to see that, because I'm really interested in making it. I should. Forget the comments, I should just make it anyway. Do my 5 OG fans remember this? Let's be sure to lock down our texture with a thin layer of matte medium. And the next morning, once that had completely finished drying, we'll base coat the bases in cork brown. The last steps will be carefully highlighting the models with the original colors that we used. It's nothing fancy, but this is where we really need to start being careful with our brush. This emerald was probably my favorite part. To finish up the bases, we'll dry brush them with a small amount of white. Then use matte medium with a tiny, tiny amount of emerald to make some nuclear ooze seeped into the soil. And finally, a wash of mahogany brown will finish these guys up. War never changes. But if only miniature painting were that simple. It really, really is nerve-wracking to paint, new minis in the same style as another set of minis. I really do mean that. I don't want to minimize that. I know that's scary for a lot of us. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video where we faced that fear head on, because it really has been over a year since I painted the originals. Crazy. Always remember to see that as an artistic opportunity. That's how I live, and it's worked out pretty well. Certainly worked out well on this project. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I have been Richard, you have been amazing, and I will see you guys in the next one.